Good morning and welcome to Tuesdays with Tabitha. Today is episode 3 and I hope that everyone is doing well. My name is Tabitha Liebert and I am an attorney and an HR manager, and I am also a conflict management strategist. And I help professional women of faith and all professionals who are overwhelmed by workplace conflict lead thriving teams with confidence. And I do this by helping you to use all 5 of the conflict styles so that you can succeed in the boardroom, in the conference room. And these skills are so highly transferable that it can also help you to succeed in the classroom or any other room that you are in. Today is Tuesdays with Tabitha, and this show is a platform with a purpose to openly talk about conflict and to share tips and strategies to help you resolve conflict in your teams, in your workplaces, in your companies, and in all of the civic spaces that you inhabit. We are going to journey through understanding how to lead your team without compromising on fundamentals. Why is this important? Well, if you have noticed that your reaction when things get tough is to compromise or to meet someone halfway, or maybe to bargain your way out of a problem in the name of trying to settle it and to keep the peace, then this episode is for you. In this episode, I'm going to give you clarity on learning how to lean into conflict instead of compromising, how to assert yourself instead of just immediately rushing to seek concessions or to get everyone to agree, how to actually deal with the issues and deal with conflict without compromising on things that are important. Now, your leadership role is multifaceted. This is always something that I remind everyone of as we go through these shows. As a leader, you are surrounded by an ecosystem, and your ecosystem is made up of several strategic roles or sectors. You are the first. And also your ecosystem is made up of your direct reports, the people who are reporting to you, whether they are on your team or contractors. And your ecosystem is also made up of the people you report to. If you're in corporate, it's going to be your managers or the C-suite or the owners of the company. And if you're an entrepreneur, it's going to be your investors or you yourself investing in your business and being invested in the success of your business. So the 3 sectors of your ecosystem would be you, your direct reports, and the people you report to. And everyone in your ecosystem is balancing relationships. They're balancing issues. They're balancing their own relationships. They're balancing the family relationships, whether immediate family or extended family, and the circumstances and life events that are happening inside of those families. And everyone in your ecosystem is also balancing societal relationships, relationships in their civic spaces, when they go out shopping, when they travel, and everyone, everywhere, is balancing the situations of the world that we're in right now. And COVID-19 is touching and affecting almost every country in the world right now. And so we're all going through specific life changes that are going to make things different for us and sometimes difficult for us to handle. And because of these relationships that are being managed within your ecosystem, there are many, many possibilities for things to become tense. There are many possibilities for things to lean over into conflict. And when this happens, you may find yourself inclined to compromise so that you can keep the peace and maintain good relations. Now, if you find yourself leaning towards compromise in conflict, ask yourself, what is the root cause? Why am I trying so hard to compromise? And why is compromising always my first reaction when there is conflict? There are several root causes of compromising, and today I'll share two with you. And the first is a fear of confrontation. You might be afraid of what you can do when you're angry. You might be afraid of losing your temper if you are hot tempered, or you may have medical issues, and the stress of losing your temper and the stress of anger might make them worse. Another reason that could be a root cause of compromising is that you are afraid of the other person. Deep down inside, you're afraid of the other person who is in the ecosystem with you, who you're dealing with. That person may have power over you, or that person might be bullying you. And that might lead you to adopt a compromising approach when there is conflict, instead of going ahead and leaning into it and trying to deal with it. So the first root cause of compromising could be fear of confrontation, whether it's a fear of what you're doing when you're angry, or whether you are afraid of the other person. The second root cause of compromising is that you might be someone who, by nature, seeks fairness, and you might have internalized James chapter 1 and 19, which says, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." And that scripture is sound, and it is justified, and it is something that we should seek, but we shouldn't use it as a crutch when there is conflict that we need to lean into and not compromise. We shouldn't use it as a reason to compromise when it is better to actually deal with the situation and get it over with. Compromising is one of the 5 conflict styles, and it is most useful when you need quick results. If there is an issue that needs to be decided quickly or closed quickly, compromising is an appropriate conflict response. Compromising is also useful if there is nothing important in question. The issue could have no immediate consequences, and if that is the case, compromising is appropriate. Now, if compromising is your default conflict style, you want to remember something. The team members that you supervise or work with, and the people who you report to, can sometimes view you as someone who is wishy-washy, someone who doesn't stand their ground or stand for anything. Sometimes the people you report to could also view you as not committed to the organization or not committed to the task at hand. Mahatma Gandhi said that all compromise is based on give and take, but there can be no give and take on fundamentals. Any compromise on mere fundamentals is a surrender, for it is all give and no take. So how do you lead your team to success without compromising on fundamentals? What would it look like if you could blend relationships with your team and meet deadlines and advance important agendas? Well, you'd be leading a happy and thriving team all the way to success. You'd get important tasks done, and you would be a change agent who can affect change in the organization. So here are a few solutions that would help you to lead your team to success without compromising on fundamentals. The first is expand your knowledge of conflict styles. There are 5 conflict styles, and the invitation today is to expand your knowledge of other conflict styles apart from compromising that will help you to be an effective leader. And the first is directing, There is also avoiding, harmonizing, and cooperating. And those conflict styles all have different times when they are appropriate and different situations when they're appropriate. So expand your knowledge of the 5 conflict styles and be able to use them interchangeably as the situations demand or as is appropriate. The second solution to help you lead your team to success without compromising on fundamentals is to take a 360 view of issues. And when you do that, you are looking for 2 things. You are looking to identify the root cause of conflict, because that is going to tell you whether it is something that you should compromise or whether it is important enough for you to lead in. And the other tip is to ask yourself, will compromise address the real issues? So once you've found or identified the root cause of conflict, ask yourself if compromising is going to address those issues. Another tip is to ask yourself, how would I feel 1 year from now if I compromise? If I compromise now, how will I feel in a year's time? Now, if you need to learn how to lead without compromising on fundamentals, or how to be a leader who can transition through all 5 conflict styles, reach out to me by DM. I can help you do that. I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. I hope that it has been helpful for you. And I hope that these tips have been able to help you learn a little bit more about leading your team without compromising on fundamentals. Be blessed and have a wonderful rest